Meraviglia is a big ship and there is so much to do. Today I just want to talk about the top 10 things I think you can't miss out on your next trip. Hi, AJ here from Byte Size Cruises. We just got back from the MSC Meraviglia less than a month ago, and there was so much to do aboard the ship. It is a beautiful, big ship with just a lot of features and amenities. So I wanted to go over my top 10 things. Now, typically when I'm doing these top 10s, I do try to keep it as much as possible to included items. However, MSC I feel is really clever with what they charge for and what they don't. So there are a number of things on here that are an additional expense, but every additional expense is under $20 per person, with the exception of one which used to be under 20 but is now like 23. So I did try to keep budgets in mind with this, but there were just some things that really stood out that did have an extra cost. With that being said, let's jump in with number 10. So number 10 is the officers' dance. All of the themed parties were really great, but the one night they had the officers come out, and I thought it was going to be like, they were going to like waltz or something. I don't know. In my mind, it was going to be ballroom dancing. It was not. It was them doing like the Macarena, the Cupid Shuffle, and the wobble-wit-it song. I think it's just called the wobble. I'm not up to date on my dances, so I can recognize that it is a popular one. Don't know the official name of it. It was just really fun to see all the like buttoned up officers, like even the captain, we got him doing a few of the dances. So that was really awesome. Loved that. Number 9 is Master Chef at Sea. So there are 2 game shows that happen that are not in a really annoying place to get to. One of them is the Love and Marriage show, which was fun, just a little sexist. And that happens in the Carousel Lounge, but the Master Chef at Sea actually happens in the Broadway Theater, and it's really fun because first they do a trivia, and then the top scorers in the trivia, which is all about food and cooking, get to go up on stage, and so it's the top 6 scorers that go up on stage. If you get a 10 out of 10 on the trivia, which does change, so I can't give you the answers, you are pretty much guaranteed to be on stage. There's only, like, in both instances, only 2 or 3 people who got all 10. But there were a lot of people who got 9, so they did just kind of draw from a hat for the other people. So keep that in mind. Study up if you want to go on stage. And it's really cool because they do give you pre-made things. You're basically assembling a dessert and making it look pretty. And then they do have chefs from the actual galleys come up and vote on which one that they like best, and they give out prizes. And if you win, you get like a hat and an apron, and you get entered in the ability to be on Top Chef. Like, you get the opportunity to try out for the actual Top Chef, which is weird, but cool. So yeah, that is a great time. Highly recommend it. And it wasn't very packed, so, you know, keep that in mind. Coming in at number 8 is the dome shows. So this is something that I have not seen on other ships. But I've also only been on the Meraviglia for MSC ones, where they actually do full shows for like 5 minutes on the dome, and it is amazing. They have everything from the dinosaurs dying, which I thought was a weird choice, to deep space, to famous ceilings around the world. I really like that one. To under the sea, and they happen twice a day, except on the last sea day where they're happening throughout the day. And that was so cute. Last sea day, there was this old man who like really loved the dome shows, and he gets out his camera and he's all ready, and it plays, and then it immediately kicks into a new one, and he's like, "No, I'm not ready. There was only supposed to be one." And he was confused, and it was sad and adorable. And he got his phone back out and recorded the next one. So they do play a bunch of them on the last sea day in case you missed them. Coming in at number 7 is the variety show. This was so much fun. I talked about this in my entertainment review. It's just really nice to see the cruise director team kind of cut loose, do this fun thing, and get to just show their personalities off a little bit. It's different what happens depending on who is comfortable with what on the cruise director team. However, there are a lot of the same bits that do come out. They always do The Greatest Showman for the opening, and then they have the Then they have the signs around their neck with the letters on it for the ending. So that's a really great time. Next up, and the first of our paid items, is the crepes. So the crepes are an additional fee. I believe it was $11 to do the crepes. They were really good. You can check out my specialty dining review for more about them. But the fruit was fresh. The cream was amazing. The crepes were so good. And it was definitely worth an experience if you like crepes or if you've never had crepes. If you don't like crepes, I have a friend who doesn't like crepes, don't get them. And I'm sure if you've had crepes in France, there's probably something you want to say about it. However, I had never had crepes before, so it was a great experience, and I do recommend trying something new if you can on board, or even if you're just looking for a sweet dessert that includes some fresh fruit. Number 5, we have reading in the Salarium. So there were not a lot of really quiet places on board. It was a very packed ship. There were more kids than any of us expected. But the Salarium, while the kids were down in the hot tubs, because they are always in hot tubs, up on the second deck, if you could find a lounger over on the side, it was quite peaceful. I did really enjoy reading there. I enjoyed crocheting there. So whatever your kind of quiet lounger type activity is, do it in the Salarium, especially if you're on a cruise where 5 out of 7 days are freezing. It was a really nice space, and even with the people, the sound wasn't too overwhelming, even though it was really packed in there, which I thought was really nice. And then it's also really pretty. It's like a very bamboo feel. I really enjoyed the Salarium, so definitely make sure you check that out. And then coming in at number 4, we have Rock Circus. I did put the carousel shows in here separately because they were differently good. So Rock Circus was definitely the weaker of the two shows, more focused on the acrobatics than the storyline, which is fine. The acrobatics were amazing. However, it doesn't feel like as much thought went into Rock Circus. It was still an amazing show. It is still definitely worth the $12 if you buy it ahead of time to go see. Still a 9 out of 10 performance. 9.5 even. It was amazing, and I'm not just saying that because of Pablo. So definitely still check it out. It just wasn't Houdini, which we will get to. So the singers were great. The dancing was great. The tricks were great. So head back to Carousel Lounge. The drinks were good even. We accidentally got alcohol for that one. And that was even good. So definitely check that out. Number 3 is Ola Tacos. Number 3 is Ola Tacos. Ola Tacos, I love Mexican food. This is the one that is $23 for all you can eat. But if you do a la carte, if you only want a quesadilla or something, they are reasonably priced. I did talk about this as well in my specialty dining review. And yeah, amazing food. Definitely recommend the pork quesadilla and the fish and the pork tacos. All of them were good. And then, you know, like I said in my review, you get the little educational placemat. I love it. It's a much more relaxed vibe than the other specialty dining. So check that out. I do think that you'll really enjoy it if you like Mexican food. Coming in at number 2 is Gelato. It's ice cream, but really good. So the gelato was amazing. And it's definitely something that kind of breaks up the routine of a sea day. Just walking down, getting some gelato. All of it was delicious that we tried, except the white chocolate parts, but we don't need to talk about that again today. You can check out my specialty dining review to see my feelings about that little addition. But definitely check out the gelato. They do have single scoops. You don't have to get 2 scoops. And the single scoops do bring down the price by like half. So it's like $5 instead of $11. So highly recommend getting the gelato and experiencing that, especially if you've never had gelato before. If you have had gelato, it is pretty good, even having had it like in Italy. This gelato still was fantastic, but if you haven't had it, it is better than almost anything you can get in the United States as far as ice cream type things go. The gelato I've tried in the States just hasn't been quite the same. So yeah, definitely check that out. And then coming in at number 1 is House of Houdini. So this is definitely like 100% get your one carousel show ticket ahead of time and go see House of Houdini. What little acting there is, it's nothing that's winning an Oscar, but it's enough to keep the story going. There is a story. The show feels very thoughtfully put together. The performers were amazing. The singing was amazing. The acrobatics was amazing. It is a show that I wanted to go back and see again so that I didn't have to worry about catching clips of it, because it is a little distracting sometimes having the camera out and trying to be discreet to not bother the people around you, where you don't get to fully enjoy what you're watching. So I would have loved to go back and see that again, and would have happily paid the $18 on board to go see it again, just to get to experience it fully. And you know, the chemistry really came out with the actors, with the performers for that one. Very, very much enjoyed it. And yeah, that is the number one thing I think you have to do. Like, it's $12. It's amazing. Yeah, definitely go see it. And that's my top 10. So like I said, I know that there's more paid items in there than normal. I do apologize. With the way that the ship was, the free entertainment was not enough to make this list. And yeah, it was a very packed ship, so a lot of the like included items ended up being overrun. And then with not getting to Ocean Key, because sometimes with these ships I will also include the private island things on there, but you know, we didn't get there. So yeah, this is my top 10 things. These are the things that I would 100% do and pay to do again if I was on board. The stuff that if I was taking a group around, I would make sure was included in our itinerary to check out. And yeah, have you been on the MSC Meraviglia? And if so, I would love to know your top 10. I really do want to see what other people think, whether or not you agree with me about what I'm listing, just to give other people who might be watching this video an idea of what other people enjoyed or will put in their top 10. Everybody's different, and take some trial and error to find what you think would keep you engaged on board a ship. So drop it in the comments below. What are your top 10 things? What do you think people can skip? If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful in any way, I would please ask that you like and subscribe, or maybe share it with a friend, as we are trying to grow this channel. It really does help us out, and I would appreciate it. So, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye.